Hello students, today we are going to be going over 7.3, tree diagrams. Our objective, I can use a tree diagram to determine the probability of an outcome. A tree diagram. What is a tree diagram? It's a visual representation of sample space. Remember, the sample space is all of your different options, okay? So here we have this tree diagram shows you the sample space of rolling a six-sided die and then flip a coin. So if you roll a six-sided die, you could get any of these options. And then if you flip a coin, you could have any of these options. So we draw an arrow. We could get one, we could get heads and then tails. Two, and then heads or tails. Three, and then heads or tails. Four, heads or tails. Five, heads or tails. And six, heads or tails. So those are all of our sample spaces. Okay? And so each of these shows our number of outcomes. So we have one outcome could be one in heads. Another outcome could be one in tails. Another outcome, two in heads. Another outcome, two and tails. So we can count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the number of outcomes, there are 12 number of outcomes that there could possibly be. And that's what you want to circle on your paper. Okay? Next, we're going to go ahead and go on. Oh, what is the probability of rolling? Come back to this. What is the probability of rolling an even number on the die? So even numbers would be 2, 4, and 6. And then flipping a coin and getting heads. So that would be once, like that. Twice, like that. 3 times. So you get the probability of even, and then heads equals, there were 3 of those out of how many? We know there were 12. So if we simplify that, we get 1/4. And this is one you should have memorized. 1/4 is 25%. Okay? So again, I want it in both fraction and percent form. All right, now we're going to go on to the steps to finding the probability of a tree diagram. First, we want to list the sample space for the first event. So you're going to write out all the possibilities for the first event. Sample space. Then we're going to draw branches going off each sample space from step 1. To know the number of branches, and that's find the number of possible outcomes of the second event. Okay, off each branch, list the possible outcomes for the second event. Number 4, count up all the outcomes in the last row. That is your new number of outcomes in the sample space. Okay. Then we want to circle the desired outcome. And it's really awkward, so I'm going to move this off. And I'll put it back here. You want to circle the desired outcome. Okay? All right. So I think you can do the rest of this. If you look back at our first example, it shows the steps. We list the sample space, okay? See how we did the sample space for rolling a die? 6 options. Then for flipping a coin, off of each of those, we had 2 options. And then we listed all the number of outcomes, 1 in heads, 1 in tails, 2 in heads, 2 in tails. Now we needed to find the probability of even and then heads, which we found was going to be 1, 2, 3 out of all of the total 12 places. Okay? All right, go ahead and do the penny toss. It says if a student, this is page 157, go ahead and finish the rest. You can do it, students. You rock.